It's time now for a look latest in local news. And the news qualifying continues this week for city elections to be held in November in Jesup, Odom, and Scriven, Georgia. A couple of candidates qualified on Wednesday. Incumbent on the Odom City Council, Clay Tiston, qualified yesterday, as did newcomer in Jesup, Tommy C. Fuller Jr. He qualified in District 4. So now that's a contested race between Tommy Fuller Jr. and Jonathan McCullough. Here's a list of candidates who have qualified thus far. Again, and those who have yet to qualify that are incumbents. We start in Jesup. We're up for election in November. Is the office of mayor and 3 council seats. District 1, 4, and 5 are up for re-election on the city council in Jesup. Heading into today, Jesup Mayor Ralph Hickox is qualified, seeking re-election as mayor. He's running unopposed at this time. In District 1, former Jesup Police Chief Perry Morgan is qualified, and as of today, he's unopposed. Other 2 races are contested. District 4, 2 candidates thus far, Tommy C. Fuller Jr. and Jonathan McCullough. Incumbent Stanley Todd has indicated he's not seeking re-election. District 5, 2 candidates, former city manager Mike Deal and Katrina Dumas. And Joe Roddy serving out the remaining term of Ray House. In Odom, Georgia, the mayor and all 5 council seats are up for election. Mayor Greg Rozier is qualified to run for re-election. He's running unopposed at this time. Council members Clay Teston and Kathy Rozier have qualified. Other seats are held by incumbents Greg Leggett, Ron Sluter, and Kevin Higgins, but none of those 3 have qualified as of late Wednesday. In Scriven, there are 3 council seats up for election held by Adam Pruitt, Raquel Wright, and Tony Brinkley. Only Raquel Wright has qualified to run for re-election at this time. Once again, qualifying for the cities of Jesup and Odom taking place here in Jesup, the probate office. Qualifying in Scriven taking place at Scriven City Hall. Qualifying ends on Friday at 4:30 p.m. We'll continue to update the list and interview candidates Tuesday. Former city manager Mike Deal will join us on the Butch and Bob Show. This past Tuesday, we had Perry Morgan, candidate in District 1. Wednesday, we had John B. Johnson, candidate for District Attorney. Friday, we've got Attorney General Chris Carr, candidate for governor in the state of Georgia in a couple of years. Today, we get away from politics, have A.D. Justin McDonald, head football coach J.B. Shaw, in talking about Friday night's activities, celebrating 100 years of football in Wayne County. A lot of festivities taking place tomorrow night. Again, we'll have that today on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. First Republican presidential candidate debate was held last night in Milwaukee, and Georgia governor made a surprise appearance in Milwaukee and declared former President Donald Trump the loser of the first debate for not showing up and comparing that strategy to that of the Atlanta Falcons' collapse in the 2017 Super Bowl. Kemp says you can't be complacent and play prevent defense. Georgia governor said Trump should have been on stage last night answering questions and battling it out with the other candidates. Kemp told reporters that it's just his opinion. He says he's not saying it because he's battled with the former president. Kemp says, look, he's been mad at me, but I'm not mad at him. That's just the way I think. You get in there. He says you get in that prevent defense and did not show up, and all of a sudden the score tightens. And Kemp made a surprise appearance in Milwaukee. Talked with the reporters before last night's debate. Says he's not considering a run for the White House, but he is encouraging his fellow Republicans to support a candidate other than Donald Trump. Other candidates in the field are seeking Kemp's endorsement, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Kemp says he doesn't think the race is over. He says he sees a candidate catching lightning in a bottle. He says, let's see what happens between now and the next debate. Today, the former president will be in Atlanta as he faces criminal charges in Fulton County. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Other news, the county commissioners met for budget discussions last week, and at their September meeting, they're expected to vote on one of 3 proposals that their administrator, Paul Drawdy, has given them to cut the budget, look for ways to raise employee salaries, hoping to maintain current employees, as the county says many positions with the county are simply underpaid compared to the same positions in other counties. The administrator told commissioners at the budget sessions that he met with department heads, and together they've cut over $1 million from the current budget. Here was the administrator, Paul Drawdy, speaking at the budget sessions last week, talking about cutting the fluff from the county budget.
We have cut everything we could think of to cut. That fluff that was mentioned a while ago, this chicken don't have any feathers. I'm telling you, he is skin and bones.
Talking about chicken.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
Well, some of us like chickens. Some of us believe they're pets, not livestock.
So I'm telling you, we have cut it. Now, so here's what that means. What that means is I'm 3 months into this job, and I really want some grace from y'all, because we may get 6 months into this budget and go, whoo, what has this boy done? You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't done this before. I'm not throwing stones at anybody, but it was the same thing when I was on the school board. It's easy to operate and run a budget when you know you're sitting there with $3, $4, $5 million worth of fluff. So what if I go over $1 million? I still got 4 left. You know what I'm saying? But when you're going to try to run a budget like we're giving y'all with the expenditures, it's going to be tight. It means that I promise you, she's going to probably be hollering at me across the hall or through the wall daily. Right. You know, right? She's going to be hollering daily. You know, Paul, if you check so-and-so's budget, look where their line item is. Because it means we're going to really have to stay on top of this and stay on top of the department heads to ensure that they're staying on their budget. It also means that when we have an issue, something happens. Road grader motor blows up, sheriff truck goes down,
Air conditioner unit goes out.
air conditioner unit goes out. You know, now, and thank you, Amanda, because if an air conditioner unit goes out, I can sit here and say, hey, y'all, Wayne Service Center had an AC unit go out, you know, we're over budget in that area, we need to move some money, blah, blah, blah. But the beauty of that is it causes you and us more work, but you know what's going on.
That's the key to me, the key to what I'm hearing is, we're gonna cut this thing, you're cutting this thing, and I've heard your speech, I've been in your office when you were talking to one of the department heads. In order for us to make a budget, we gotta know exactly what each department, what the bare bones, what it takes. Now, with those departments, once we realize what that number is, those department heads need to know, we got, this commission board has got the, and your administrative, we've got their back. If something happens, we can amend the budget, we can go ahead and get them the money. They ain't got to worry about reaching over here, this other fund or supply funds, this other stuff that I have no clue what it is, and I still ain't figured it out. That's another and that's what I'm hearing. If we work as a team and we got each other's back and they trust us, I believe that they'll do these budgets.
Commissioner Hopkins, you are 100% correct, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I've tried to have that conversation with every single one of our department heads as we were getting ready. I had delivered the majority of the budget, the 6/30, June 30th budget, to the department heads so they could start preparing. As I gave it to them, I gave the exact same speech every single time. And I can tell you why it works and what you're saying is what works, is because I personally was proud of a lot of departments. They were cut. I mean, they were saying, we've never used this. And cut it out. You know, I've had some tell me, yeah, oh, we don't need uniforms. They cut it out. Oh, we've never done that. They cut it out. They know the fluff is there. But I made that explanation to them that, look, we're going to run this thing lean, but trust me, the commissioners have asked for this and they know it. If you got to come in front of them and go, a tornado went through, you know, blew down a tree, or high winds blew down a tree and went through one of our shops, we got to replace this thing. They know y'all are going to go, okay, that ain't your fault.
Another thing too was the grants. We cut out a lot of the grants because you don't know if you're going to get a grant or not. So why are you going to put it in the budget not knowing?
Right.
So we didn't do grants. That's something we can amend to y'all. We're going to get this money in for revenues and then expense it out of expenses where it's going to go. So we didn't include grants.
And to me, this is, I've been dealing with this for 5 years now, and I've been asking for this, and I don't think it's ever been done this way. And I want to commend y'all both because I know the hours y'all have spent on this. And I want to apologize because when we're looking at these sheets, we're looking from 24 to 23 to 22.
And once again, that part of the budget sessions held last week. Again, commissioners will vote at their September board meeting which of the 3 proposals presented to them by the administrator that they will select. Again, that meeting is set for Monday, September 4th. The next SPLOST meeting negotiations have been set. That second meeting between the county and cities for the SPLOST negotiations will be held on Wednesday, August 30th. That will take place at the William A. Zorn Airport at 8:30 a.m. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news, a book signing today at the Wayne County Library. Author Jimmy Hill, a Gardi native, is going to be in Jesup today between 5 and 7 p.m. for that book signing. And signed books will be available for cash, check, or card. will be accepted. His book, They Inspired Me, his journey from Gardai to Tomahawk Mountain, focuses on his life starting in Gardai, Georgia, and continuing into his career with a Fortune 500 company and beyond. They state his book will make you laugh, shed tears, learn, admire, and feel nostalgia in his amazing memoir. That's a 5-star rating on Amazon. Readers will enjoy his intriguing story, telling of his youthful adventures, educational pursuits, family love, strong spirituality, work experiences, lifetime achievements. Once again, the signed books are available today. He'll be in town at the Wayne County Library today between 5 and 7 p.m. And this Saturday night, tickets are still available for Saturday night's Market to Midnight, a benefit for Hospice of South Georgia. It'll feature a band out of Florida called the Six Piece Suits, and they'll perform from 7:30 to midnight this Saturday, August 26th. Tickets are $15 available that evening, but also in advance. Call Kylie McGregor at 912-588-0080. Kylie joins us tomorrow on the Butch and Bob Show to talk about the big Saturday event. They've got silent auction items, food vendors, dancing, all taking place Saturday night at the Wayne County Farmers Market. Market to Midnight, again, a benefit for Hospice of South Georgia this Saturday at the Farmers Market between 7:30 and midnight. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgans, have a great day.